Okay, I'm hoping that you can hear me a little better since I last did a video. This time I'm trying to do something a little different. I'm still working with VMware Workstation 11, but I'm going to be taking a look at Apple OS X 10.8. If you can't tell, well, you can't tell because I'm in full screen, but I'm using Windows 10. So I decided to see OS X because I've never really used it at all. But I would like to try it out, and I'm going to go through what I can and kind of compete it against Windows 10. I know this isn't really a fair comparison, but I couldn't get 10.9 or 10.10 as far as I can tell to work on VMware. To actually get this to work, you need VMware Unlocker, which if you look for you can find. I'm too lazy to put it into the description, but I'll probably put that in later on. Let's get started and try this out. And this this is a VMware image, not a disk, so you should be able to find it somewhere. And again, you'll have to find that yourself. So let's take a look at it. So, very similar to Windows 10, has the logo. Nothing really happening though. I find that in Windows 10, the circular loading icon comes up a lot quicker than on this. Of course, this is not using all of my hardware. I assume that if it had 8 gigabytes and all the hard drive space that I have, then it would be a lot faster. And besides, this is virtualizing, not actually using it on actual hardware. So, I've noticed that it's taking quite a while to load, but so far it is very similar to Windows 10. The mouse has appeared. Okay, so, and it has gone full screen now. Good to match my resolution. So what I can see right here is that the time is up here, which I kind of like. They do put the Windows or the Apple logo right here. I find that in Windows 10 they kind of force a gigantic Windows logo. I can imagine that as development through Windows 10 goes on, that you get to choose what your login screen background is. I'm not sure if you can do this in OS X, and I'll have to figure out how to change that. I would assume that as you have more users, this is what it would appear like, and it would be across the screen, and then you click whatever you want, type in your password. I'd rather like having this here at the bottom. I'm not so sure what this is supposed to signify. Maybe an eye slowly closing as you're putting it to sleep. I understand that and that, but these are handy, bigger icons. I like having this giant password hint. It is quite handy. I have to log in. Okay then. And just to let you know, I have set this up previously just so that I can take a look at this quicker. So this is incredibly different from any Windows. I find this a little more similar to a a really nice GUI Linux. But I do like the design of it. This is quite like the taskbar in Windows, and this I guess would be the start button. Not sure what the point of that is though. So about this, it is 10.8. For right now, I'm not going to update the software till I know it's safe. Finder. Okay. I like that you can go to settings or system preferences. App Store, software update is all nicely here. And the top is also very similar to what you would see in, say, File Explorer. So I would assume Finder is like File Explorer, so I guess we'll take a look at that. Okay. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Because that's how big it gets. I don't like that, not being able to go full screen. I wish that this would get out of the way a little bit or be a little smaller. So that is a little annoying. All my files, I guess, really isn't an attractive name for it. Then again, neither is this PC. But, yeah, so that makes sense. I understand that. Oops. Not sure what that would be. Obviously, that's Bluetooth. Volume. Okay. So that's the calendar. I don't like that. It's too small. So I guess that would be the universal search, the spotlight. Notification, so I guess that's where Windows 10 got the Action Center from. That makes sense though. Okay, so then I guess we go on to, well, let's take a look a little bit more at Finder. Applications. Okay. Kind of like all programs. They're all apps. So we've got App Store Automator. What is Automator? Well, I guess you have to open it to find out. Okay. Well, whatever that was, anyway. Calculator, then. It's a calculator. Well, I don't know what more you can say. I wish they had a little more option for, say, scientific calculator, whatever calculator. It's a calculator. Calendar, this looks very similar to, there we are, that goes full screen. I guess that would be, it looks more like iOS 7, I guess, 10.9 and 10.10 overhauled it for iOS 8. Chess, contacts, dashboard, dictionary. That's kind of handy to have, a built-in dictionary. Okay then, it's handy. Built-in DVD player, yeah, you have to pay for that in Windows 10 now. Doesn't really have a built-in DVD player, I guess, unless you put something into a media player. FaceTime, I know what that is. Font book, Game Center, image capture, iTunes Launchpad, so all different types of things here. I understand that. Time Machine is like, what's it called? System Restore. I don't really. Time Machine doesn't really. It would make me think a little bit, but I understand when they say System Restore. Oh, it's going to restore my system instead of Time Machine. Well, a time machine puts people back in time, so I would assume that it would place my computer back in time, but it would make my brain go a little bit before. So you got desktop, nothing on my desktop. Documents, nothing on my documents. Downloads, about downloads. Movies, I don't have any. Music, don't have any. Pictures, don't have any. One thing I like about this, though, is the beautiful desktop backgrounds that they have. They're really beautiful. I think so. Later on I might actually try to take that background and put it on Windows 10 because it's quite beautiful. So now we got Launchpad. Come on, don't crash on me. Yep, it crashed. Okay. It froze. So I'm finding, and I know I'm being a little, I'm not being really fair. Oh, come on. Not being fair, but the performance isn't as good. I know that it's all beautiful and everything. The links aren't everything. The performance is okay, I guess. But for the money that you'd be paying for the device, I would assume that I would have assumed that the performance would have been a little better. But it is quite beautiful, I have to admit that it is quite eye-catching. It does look nice, it looks sleek, it looks modern, but performance isn't all there. Yeah. So I apologize for the crash. It sometimes crashes when you overload it, because this is a kind of an edit to the VMware program. I can't blame for it to be a little buggy. So going back to Launchpad. Okay, this time I'm gonna try to give it a little, wait a little bit, but, yeah, everything is quite eye-catching. This looks quite nice. Even how they do the whatever you call it, the taskbar for me. how it's like a shelf with everything on it, it does make sense that all your items would be on a shelf, or at least on a table. So you makes sense. Okay, that did freeze. Okay, next time I'm not going to go on Launchpad. But yeah, this is quite nice. Does have a lot of cool apps, I have to say. Having a store that is just like the App Store on iOS devices, I find that's handy. But I believe that Windows 10 will eventually be able to run Apple and Android apps natively. So if there's any app that you want, you'll be able to play it. So I think that this will eventually be able to be done. All the things that you have on here are quite nice. It's organized nicely. It would take a little while to get used to, but I find that it does make sense, but of course it's not going to make me buy a iMac or a MacBook. I'm still sticking with my Windows laptop because it has, and I'm even using the insider preview of Windows 10. I'm using build 10,525 as of today, and it's a preview, and I still find it a little more reliable than the OS X. Still gonna play around with it though. It's not meaning that I absolutely hate it. I thought I did, but I don't hate it. I just prefer one over the other, and the one I prefer is Windows 10. So I hope that you enjoyed this video and my ranting on about Windows 10 and going through this, and I will see you in the next video for look at some Microsoft products. Okay, and thank you, and I'll see you next video. Okay. Oops, captured.